Okay, everybody, I just kind of want to go over some things about how to use DESMOS and make sure that you know what we're doing for the Algebra 2 class and kind of the basic stuff to be able to do things to help you out when you're dealing with some of the problems. So first off, we're going to go into the scientific calculator. So what you're going to do is you're going to go over here to desmos.com. You'll notice up here that it has my name up here. If you've never been in Desmos or if you haven't been in Desmos for a while, it might tell you to log in. What you're going to do is you're going to click on that, and it should give you an option of signing in with your Google account. So you do need to sign in with your Google account to make sure that you're okay. I'm going to go ahead and log out just to do that. So notice here, sign in with Google. And that means in your APS account, what's nice about it is that it gives you access to a lot of other resources besides just the general or standard ones that you have. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go over to Math Tools. We're going to go over to the Scientific Calculator. And with the Scientific Calculator, which is nicer than probably most of the calculators you guys have, but you might have calculators that can do things that are similar. They just might be a little bit clunkier just because the screen is a little bit smaller. So I can type in an equation. So this is going to be one of the problems that we're going to do a little bit later. And so if I type in f of x and I have x to the fourth plus 2x minus 1. So here's an equation that I type in, right? So it's a function. So it's also a polynomial function. It's a fourth degree, so we can see that. It's an even function because it's fourth degree. There's no negative inside, so I can kind of predict what's going on. Remember that if it's an even function, that means that both the beginning and end behavior do the same thing. They either both go up or they both go down. And then you look at the leading coefficient, which is the number in front of x to the fourth, and that tells me that this particular function goes up on both sides, on the beginning and the ending. So kind of like a parabola. So if you can see my mouse here, you can see that it's going to be kind of in that shape. It might change directions in between, but no matter what, on the left side it's going up and on the right side it's going up. So that's what it looks like. If you hit enter, it'll kind of keep that equation for you. But if I'm trying to build a table of values, I can type them in by just doing f of. So when I do f of, I'm going to put in a value for x. So like if I do f of 0, which means when x is 0, what is y? Because f of x stands for y. So I can type that in. You'll notice that it says it says y is equal to -1, or f of 0 is equal to -1. If you recall, this is the y-intercept. I can go in and change that number. I can look at what is f of 1. So if I plugged a 1 into the x's, I would get a 1 plus 2 minus 1. So 1 plus 2 minus 1 is going to be 2, and that's where the 2 comes from. I can plug in negative numbers, so -1 to the fourth is still 1. Minus 2 minus 1, so 1 minus 2 minus 1 is going to be -2, because that's -3, 1 minus 3. And so that's where I get the -2 from. So what's nice about this is that instead of having to use your calculator to kind of figure all these things out, you can type in the right equation. Of course, you have to type in this correctly, and you can get that done. So that's how you use this. It's going to be helpful to build tables. You can see how to put in numbers. I mean, I can go in and I can put in -6, I can put in -5, and we're going to be doing this on the homework. So I wanted to make sure you knew how to use the tool, because when I go to the homework, when I go to the lesson, I'm just going to do it. So I'm just going to be in there and doing that for you. So I want you to see how that works. Okay, so that takes care of the scientific calculator. The next thing that we're going to do is the graphing calculator. I'm going to do that on a different video.